go. This is going to be video number 3. Just math, y'all. Video number 3 on the simplifying radicals. Okay, so let's get going. Let's see if I can get video number 3 to be a little more interesting. Okay, so we're going to do this one. We have a 4th root and a 5th root that we're going to do. And again, the first step we're going to do is to prime factor everything. So I'm going to prime factor this 162, and I know that's going to be 2 times 81, and then 81 is 9 times 9. I'm going to bring 2 down, and I know that this 9 is 3 times 3, and this 9 is 3 times 3. So I get it all the way factored. All right, and so now this time I'm pulling out quads. This is a 4. That's the index, and that means it takes 4 to get out of the house. In this situation, it's going to take 4 to get out of the house. There they all are. They are all dressed alike. They all have to stay in the same car. They are stuck together. And so who's left in the house? Well, just the 2. Now, it's very important that you write the little 4 back on there. That is part of the symbolism, and if you leave it off, you will eventually get it marked wrong. My math lab will mark it wrong, and I will mark it wrong. So make sure that you leave that down here. And you know what? Thinking about that last video I did, I think I forgot to do that. So I got it wrong. I did forget it wrong. So if you watch that last video, you know that there's supposed to be a 3 right there. Please check that. Ooh, bad, Miss Cox. Okay. I may delete that video and recreate it because I've done it twice now. Screwed it up. All right, let's do this one. So this is a 5th root. So in my answer, I have to have that 5 in my answer. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to prime factor it. This is going to give me 16 times 10. To me, that's the easiest one. And so this is 4 times 4, just 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Now, you know you can prime factor these differently and still get the same numbers at the end. It doesn't matter how you start a tree. What matters is what's at the end of your tree. So now that one's all prime factored, and I'm going to pull out 5. Now this crazy mama is psycho. She is just completely psycho, because what's happening is she's putting 5 kids in a car and telling them to stay together. She's creating a party in a car. So really, she doesn't know what she's done. She's crazy, but it is what it is. So this 5, again, it sits out here. It is part of the notation, just like it is over here on the 4. But the 5 here is left in the house. So that is the official answer for this one. Okay? This is the most important skill in 10-3. So make sure you understand how to simplify radicals, because now we're going to use applications to do this. So Pythagorean theorem is one application that we use for simplifying radicals. All right, so we're going to do this problem here. And the Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and you may be familiar with it. But we're using this, and we're going to just do our formula, and then we're going to use our newfound way of simplifying radicals to solve our problem. So for this one, we have a is 15, we have b is 8, and c we don't know. All right, so we're going to use our formula, which says 15 to the second plus 8 to the second equals c to the second. Now, you're going to have to do 15 to the second power. I have it memorized. You can use your calculator. So I'm going to do those, and then I'm going to add those two together. And I get 289 is c squared. Okay, now, the answer is not 289. The answer is the square root of 289. Because to get c by itself, I have to do the square root of both sides. Because these two things cancel each other out. They reverse each other. That goes back to our definition that we started with when we did radicals. And so now I have to do the square root of 289. All right, so now some of you know what it is. You can pull out your calculator and get it done. But this is 17 times 17. And so that's it. So this gets out of the house and nothing else is left. And so C is 17. All right. Let's do another one. All right, now this one says when B is 8 and C is 16, find A. This one's a little bit differently. So let's start through this one. B is 8, C is 16, and A is what we don't know. All right, so again, using the formula, we have A squared plus 16 squared equals, wrong, try again, Miss Cox. A, we don't know. B is 8. And C is 16. There we go. That's much better. Okay, so now A squared plus 64. Now, 16 squared you can do on your calculator. You can look on your power sheet. However, I have it memorized, I think it's 256. So now this one's going to require a little more solving. I'm actually going to have to subtract 64 on both sides to get my A squared by itself. And I get 192. And so then I'm going to have to do the square root of both sides, just like I did before, to get A by itself. And so I get A is the square root of 192. Now, I could type that in a calculator, but that's not going to give me the answer that the computer is going to ask me for. So I'm actually going to use my newfound skill of breaking this down. And I know 2 times something. And so I may have actually done this problem, but we'll keep going. 2 times 96, right? And then 2 goes into 96, 48 times. And then 48 is 6 times 8. All right, so keep going. This one's going to be a big one. This is 2 times 4. Keep going. So I've got this 2, this 2, this 2, this 3, this 2, and 2 times 2. This is a big one. Okay. All right, so I got to pull out pairs. Some of you are saying, I could do this easier. I know you could. I know there's another way. I know there's an easier way. That doesn't mean that this way is not good for some people. So that 2 gets out. There's another 2 that gets out. There's another 2 that gets out. And that's it. That's all that's getting out. The 3 is stuck at home. So now this becomes my answer. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. You don't know how many people miss that problem. 8 times the square root of 3. This is my exact answer. Now, if I wanted to get an approximated answer using my calculator, then I would just type it in the calculator. And my approximate answer, approximately 13.86 if I round to the nearest hundredth. If I round to the nearest hundredth. Okay. Did I set my timer? I don't think I did. All right, so we're going to stop this video because I don't know how long I've been going. And we'll pick up in just a few minutes.